Yo, what's up guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Time for a little Best of 23 segment. This one shouldn't take too long, but kind of like to cover all these angles. And who the hell says it has to be the last week of 23 to do a Best of 23? I know, it's the end of January. So what? 10 favorite box sets or deluxe editions, at least for me, in 2023. Most of them new to that year or maybe the year before. And maybe a few older ones that were, like I said, new to me. Things that I picked up. A couple of them I had for a year or two. Just got around to playing them, actually, more recently. Things that I've shown you that I picked up in the last few months that aren't in here and probably deserve to be. I just haven't gotten to them yet. They'll be contenders in the running for Best of 2024. A couple more episodes to do for Best of 23. Most disappointing pickups. That'll include everything. DVDs, CDs, mostly bootlegs, but a couple commercial things. Keep your eyes out for that one. And upcoming New Year's resolutions. What are my goals for the coming year? Got a bunch of them. You know, why not? Throw all the goals out there and see what sticks. I'm still finishing from our rock video update, the last of my pretty bad eggnog. Doesn't taste freshly made, but that's what it says on the label. All right, number 10 to 1, and a bonus once we're done. It was kind of hard to place. Maybe it could have been at 10, not sure. We'll talk about it at the end. Number 10, Jethro Tull. This came out a few years back. Their first album, its own box set. I don't really have a ton to say about all these extras. I think I only listened to the first 2 CDs, but the whole point of this one for me, and CD 1 is a Steven Wilson remix. I think he does a great job. Although I've never heard this album before, so I couldn't tell you how great that remix necessarily was. The extras on here are really cool because a lot of them aren't on the first album. Associated recordings from that era. All right, but I just really like this album, and I never even knew this more acoustic and bluesy side of Jethro Tull even existed. So this isn't so much at number 10 because of it being an awesome deluxe edition. You guys can be the judge of that. I'm just putting it up there because it was my first exposure to this album and I really liked it. And it's so much different than what a novice Tull fan like me expected from Jethro Tull. I had no expectations going into this, you know. Couple of proggy songs, but not much. Really good one. Trying to see what else is even on here. Original 68 US stereo mix. Is CD3 I haven't even heard yet. And also the mono mix. That's your CD3. And I got most of the way through CD2, more associated recordings, single B-sides and things like that. So, number 10, some Jethro Tull. Coming in at number 9. Here's one I bought a couple years ago. And I think the only thing I played off of initially was the first disc of outtakes. But more recently, in the last month or two, digging into my LA Woman, what do they call this? 50th anniversary editions, right? Not even considered a total box set. Perfect for me. Doors were a band, I had all their albums back in the day taped off of someone's CDs. Except for Morrison Hotel. I had that on cassette for some reason. Maybe a best of or something. So, perfect for me. You get a vinyl copy of the album. I believe it's a remaster of the album on CD also. Original stereo mix remastered. That's CD 1. With a couple of bonus tracks. Hyacinth House demo, which I love that damn song. Riders on the Storm, another Sunset Sound version. But the only thing I initially played on this a year or two ago when I got it was CD 2. LA Woman Sessions Part 1. And it's 4 songs that take a whole damn CD up. I really felt, unlike Morrison Hotel's 50th, where the versions were quite different from each other. By the time you were done listening to that one CD of outtakes, you couldn't wait to hear the new album. This was just so long. There's 2 CDs of outtakes. The first CD, like I don't know, 70 minutes, but only 4 songs. It's just a little long-winded. I played that first CD and kind of just put this away. It was like too much of a good thing in a way. And more recently, threw the vinyl on, threw CD2 on, and loved CD2. And probably because there's at least 12 different songs on CD2. More in line with the Morrison Hotel box, where you get a lot of different versions and things stay interesting. So I'll have to go back and hear CD2 again. But more recently, I've been loving the original CD stereo mix, if only for just the bonus tracks. Putting the album on, putting CD2 on, and really been enjoying it that way. So coming in at number 9, something I've owned for actually a couple years, just really got into it recently, LA Woman 50th Anniversary Edition. Good stuff there. Coming in at number 8, Heart Strange Euphoria. Did great with this one, $45. It was still sealed. Unbeknownst probably to the seller on Discogs, the bonus disc was in here. Bonus disc alone can go for $40. It's a really good 3 CD summary of the band. I think this is a 2011 box set, maybe, something thereabouts. 2012. Not big on the 80s material. They kind of skim right through it, and even some of those versions are alternates. And they're better. I really kind of prefer them. Some cool early stuff, and one of the biggest selling points for me, the DVD, the second ending, 1976 live TV performance. KWSU TV. They don't even know. Looks February or March of 76. And what a great 57-minute concert video on there. Really, the rest of these CDs were all sort of bonuses to me. This was a great pickup, and really need to get back into the CDs. They were all cool. Like driving around with those for a couple weeks. Black Sabbath comes in next. Number 7, Live Evil, Super Deluxe Edition. And the only reason it's not higher, it's really just 2 copies of the same thing. The new mix is outstanding. That's going to be the one I play. The original's in there for you old heads that prefer that old mix the way it sounded. I prefer the new, fresher techniques mix that makes up CD3 and CD4. Great stuff from Sabbath, as always. Didn't expect anything less, but actually it's a really, really good live album. You know, I like that. I'll tell you, I have how many CDs? I have three different bootlegs from the Heaven and Hell tour. Like every time you hear Heaven and Hell, it's different. And that happens again here. So that's really kind of cool. Because overall, Sabbath's not a band that varied things a whole lot. You know, Black Sabbath, the song, maybe a little here and there. Not really even so much with that. Heaven and Hell, the one that they varied. You get the Sign of the Southern Cross action. That's killer. Title track from Mob Rules, of course. Overall, it's just a great show. Voodoo's awesome. The voodoo on here is the best, you know. So, number 7 for Sabbath. Coming in at number 6. Now, I don't know if you guys consider this a deluxe edition. I do. Why the hell not? You get a CD, you get a DVD, you get a Blu-ray. This actually came out, I think, late summer or fall 2022. And I got it when it was pretty new, maybe November. But really didn't start digesting it until December and then on into early this January 2023. Boys Are Back in Town, or Songs for While I'm Away, is the documentary film in here on Blu-ray. That's excellent. I watched that twice. The Australia, Sydney, 1978, drummer Mark Nossoff and Gary Moore on guitar. I had that 7-song, I think, version from VHS years ago. So here we get on DVD the whole show, as far as I can tell. 8 songs, but you also get 5 songs bonus performances. They don't look as good, but all 8 original songs and the 5 bonus songs all now sound amazing. And man, that video, that original VHS, was one of the worst sounding. It sounded like an audience cassette recorded this pro-shot, pro-filmed concert. So now that's all rectified. Plus you get the entire show on CD. And of course that sounds great. So this is, to me, basically a little mini box set. Blu-ray and a DVD and CD too. So excellent Thin Lizzy release from late 22. One of my favorites, early part of 23, but that's when I was mostly digesting that. Coming in at number 5, another late 22. I think this came out in November or so. Neil Young's Archives Volume 2. I still haven't even heard all of this. Heard like 6 of the discs so far. So still need to finish up with Archives 2. And man, I love the hell out of At least those first 6 discs. Sound quality second to none on these things. Really amazing sound quality. And for the most part, it's the regular albums, and not even all of them sometimes, but also a bunch of bonus tracks, live versions of the songs, alternate tracks that weren't on the albums. You get the deal with a typical box set action going on there. But man, what a great one. Neil Young at number 5. At number 4, a little more recent something from a few months back, Elvis Aloha in Hawaii. Aloha from Hawaii via satellite. And this was just an unexpected sort of thing, where the live albums are really good, sound amazing. The Blu-ray is kind of a bonus. Bonus tracks on the video, all the bonus tracks on a separate CD, 3 CDs, and a Blu-ray. And for $29, $30, couldn't go wrong with this. And really wasn't expecting a heck of a lot out of it, but I really ended up enjoying it. Watched the rehearsal concert on Blu-ray, watch the regular concert on Blu-ray, watch the bonus. A lot of bang for your buck here. The sound quality on the CDs really is probably the best part of this thing. Blu-ray doesn't look fantastic, but that was a nice pickup. I knew I was going to go for it. Wasn't expecting to really like it as much as I did. Same could be said for this, another $40 or so box set that came out years ago. I'm going to say 2017 with this maybe. Chicago 6 Decades Live. Kind of covers the whole band, skims through their career. The highlight of it being the first 2 CDs out of the 4. Isle of Wight Festival, August 28th of 70. Just another great early show. And sounds not the best, but more than acceptable. And there's just some versions on here. I think 4 of these songs are the best versions I ever heard. Fantastic. We're skimming through 69 to 77 on disc 3. Good stuff on a lot of that. And a couple good songs on disc 4 from 78. After that, we get into the bullshit era. And I'm not even sure I listened to the rest of that. But at some point I will. It's worth a listen. Then as a DVD, Germany Rock Palace show from February of 77. It's 130 minutes, so the whole show's on here. Warts and all, even like a tape glitch. They just left it all on there from the original source tape. That's kind of cool. Surprised that wasn't edited out. Let you know, you're getting the whole thing. And I've had that forever, 30 years. I could toss my shitty trade show copy in the trash. Chicago 6 Decades Live, 3rd favorite box set pickup of 23. Coming in at number 2, another Neil Young. Got my replacement disc for the BBC show. Not even a big deal. To me, all the new stuff in here was the star of the show. Another great sounding production on this one with the album itself, Harvest, which I didn't have on CD anyway. So this was a total win. Under 40 bucks, 37 bucks, I think. DVD of a documentary called Harvest Time. I never even heard of. I thought that was great. What a great watch that was. Of course, you get the BBC in concert from 71, which is really cool. And if you don't have a replacement disc, guys, Google and how to get it with that initial distorted version. CD version of the BBC in concert, I don't really know if I need that, honestly. And CD3 is only 3 songs, Harvest outtakes, but they're pretty good. And a couple of them you've already heard before. All of them, actually, between the video and some other Neil releases. But overall, fantastic box, again, by Neil. Last but not least, what else can it be? Released January of 23, Lizzy's Live and Dangerous box set, and 8 CDs. Now, I have a lot of Lizzy's albums I don't have Live and Dangerous. So now that's been rectified. Disc 1, then you get 7 of the shows that made up or that were recorded for Live and Dangerous. The only one of those I had was that Philly Live at the Tower, which was only a partial show anyway. So 6 complete new shows and the full version of the Philly show. Now, we did end up getting Hammersmith, one of the Hammersmith shows on a bootleg. But I kind of like having that bootleg. It's a little more rough and raw and more bassy. These versions, the production on here, I thought a little sort of got that surround sound going on, but you lose some of the meat and potatoes of the rhythm. Bass and drums don't sound quite like they should, I don't think. At least not how I prefer it. But man, what a fantastic pickup this was. Now, as a little bonus, this could have been number 10. It was up, tossed between this and the Tull. But Sabbath, Deluxe edition of Eternal Idol. This came out 10 years ago or more. It's been out of print for 10 years. Back in print. You know, the whole big sale of this CD, and why a lot of people would tell you to get it, would be to get the original version of the album with Ray Gillen singing. And that's what I was expecting to get. Now, Black Moon as a B-side, as bonus track, I guess you'd say. That's a great song. I heard that off YouTube a couple years ago. Some Kind of Woman, I don't remember much about that one. But I actually picked up Eternal Idol like 15 or more years ago. It was $2 in a bargain bin. All right, I'll grab it. I'm not a big Tony Martin era guy. It's okay. Just sounds like a lot of other metal bands at the time to me. And now no longer like Black Sabbath. That's my takeaway from the album. It wasn't bad. It's just they're followers now instead of leaders. However, I got to tell you, disc 2, Ray Gillen is not the story to me. What is that they're demos and not stripped down and streamlined like the regular album, I think, sort of is. You have all the initial ideas and takes and backtracks, multi-tracks, layers of sounds on there that it sounds like Tony and Jeff Nichols worked on and worked their asses off to really get this album sounding cool. Layers of guitars, little effects in the back, a little acoustic here, a little extra synth here, and cool sounding stuff. Cool synthesizers that sound mean and evil and stuff like that. The acoustic guitar that I'm talking about even just sounds interesting under the layers of electrics. And all that stuff got wiped out for the regular album. So I don't love the album in the first place. I was a 2 or 3 songs on there, a good kind of guy. Now I think there's like 5 songs that I think sound really good, with the help of a heavier, beefy overall sound on guitar and all those extra elements that are left in place here that don't sound like they're there anymore on the regular album. They're not, or at least maybe they're buried so much you don't notice them. You'll notice them here, and this is worthy. If you have any interest at all in Eternal Idol, you got to pick up this deluxe version. Guys, that's going to do it for now. There's another Best of 23 episode. Got a couple more to do, some New Year's resolutions, Worst of 23. That should be fun. I'm always telling you what to get. How about what to avoid? See you all soon. Hope you're all doing well. Happy New Year. Stay away from old New England eggnog. It kind of sucks.